We are all constantly reminded each day of the importance of recycling or finding another purpose for an object before it's thrown away. We've all heard the saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Well, artist Hank Herring has taken this concept of recycling to heart. Using found materials like discarded tree limbs, metals, fabrics, as well as adding skilled artistic design, he transforms what we might view as waste into fascinating and inspiring works of art.
Growing up in North Carolina, there wasn't a Walmart next door to run out and get little toys. We made most of the toys we had. My first horse riding on was just a tobacco stick between my legs with a little piece of string on it and get up horse, you know. And on the farm, nothing went to waste. We used everything. Thinking back on it, anytime we tear down one building, you used everything from the bent nails, you straighten out the nails to start on the next building. We repaired the hog pens with with boards left over from any other structure. We used everything we could. And recycling, I think that's why I work so much with recycling, is that everything has a purpose. And if you throw everything away, starting over, we're just filling up the landfills. I really truly believe that certain things should be used, and once they're finished, they have another purpose. My grandfather gave me, between him and my father, I've always had a little teeny knife to whittle sticks or something with. My grandfather whittled. Well, both of them whittled. Both grandfathers whittled. One was a carpenter by trade, one a farmer by trade. My grandmothers, both of them, quilters. So I learned quilting from them. My mother was a quilter and seamstress. So throughout my family, artistically, I had a lot to pull from. I also had my uncle, who, when I was young, he went into the Army. He left his draft board. He left his art supplies in his room. And as young, I got into the room. My grandmother let me in. Maybe she let me in, maybe she didn't. I got into the room, all right? And so I got his art supplies. I still have his draft board to this day. And I saw the pictures he had done, and I kind of copied some of those, and I learned to do some of my own drawings. And from the reading and drawing, it just stimulated everything else as far as my art went. A lot of times when I'm looking at anything, I see as if when we were as kids, you lay on your back and you look at the clouds. I feel the same way about anything I pick up. There's what is represented by whoever created it in the first place, but there's also another thing that you look at and you see something else. Everybody sees something different in everything, which reflects in my art also. In my work, there's always more than one profile, if you would. There's more than one meaning. It doesn't have to be political. It doesn't have to be anything other than art. It's to look at it and enjoy it. Everything I've learned from a child to now is reflected in my art. I've done pieces that when I was in junior high school, I learned how to hammer metal. So now I hammer metal in some pieces. I was a tool and die maker, or machinist, I should say. I had my apprenticeship and my journeymanship in that. Different places I've gone. I've learned clay when I was in Okinawa. And from that, I learned to carve over there also. That's when I first started carving. And the attention to detail in the carving is what I really started paying attention to. When I got back here to Beaufort, right after Okinawa, I met someone that was doing driftwood. And I found that I love working with driftwood. Driftwood is after it has either set out from the wind, either the wind or the water, and has taken away the outer layer of the wood. There's so many things to see within the piece itself. It's like looking at the clouds I was talking about earlier. Let your imagination go. I believe that my art should ignite your imagination and stir your soul. You know, that's how I feel about art. And if anyone just sees just a portion of what I've seen in it, then that's great. If you look at a piece and you just say that's nice and want to collect it, I don't think you should leave my piece of art right where it's at, you know. You know, if you don't look at it and say, well, I don't fully understand it, but I see something in it, and then that's your piece.
The art of stamping, or batik, is also one of Hank's passions. His one-of-a-kind hand-tooled designs are popular all over the world.
I started making stamps, a few years ago. One of the artists I know that does batiking had a problem with some stamps. She couldn't get any ordered in time for a show that was coming up, and she was trying to find someone that could carve her stamps for her. And I did see the stamp that came in to replace the one she had, and I asked, well, let me see what I can do for you. Now the stamps, they're used for a variety of things. For the batiking, for the clothing industry, they have been used for borders around walls. And one a friend of mine, she used them to go up her steps. So the stamp going up her steps. So there are a variety of things you can use them for. And I have found that it's really a joy when I get the stamp back and you see all the processes that they've used on it. I have one that's very dear to me. It has, I think there's every kind of color you can think of on this stamp. It's been very well used. Rounded edges. I was glad to send her another one, and I've taken this one and mounted in a shadow box.
But if you look at how long it took me,
Like many artists, Hank always makes time to teach and support emerging artists, especially when it comes to developing artistic talents in children.
My whole desire is that children would learn to use their minds, if you would, to create. Everything we need is there. We just have to reach out and use everything that's around us. And that goes back to back to what I use as a material. It's there. All we have to do is use it and not just let it be cast away into the landfills, into the dumps, but use it. And that goes for our parents, the people that we know that grew up in the neighborhoods that we're in. Use the information they have and don't let it go to waste. Just use everything so that we're better people for whatever we've learned.
For more information about art or to purchase stamps, contact Wooden Things at 843-812-6496 or email Hank at hdherring@gmail.com.